This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1970-73 Carryover League. We got an interesting battle this evening for you with some expansion teams that didn't exist during this timeline. Would be the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Florida Marlins, teams you are aware of, but not certainly aware of back in the 1970s. So, these expansion teams over the years, I've tried to give them some identity by drafting a specific type of player for each of the teams. Just to give an example of other expansion teams, you recall the Colorado Rockies are built around power, walks, and strikeouts. Arizona's kind of built around finding the best, good batting average. Florida's built around basically an international roster of players not born in the U.S. Arizona and Florida, teams who were in third place a year ago in their two divisions. Also, the big surprise this year is that the Arizona Diamondbacks have only lost one game. They are 7-1, and they, of course, played San Diego, Seattle, and now Florida. So the remaining part of their schedule is 3 best-of-7s in their own division. So we'll see how that plays out. But let's take a look at what's going on thus far. It's been a good series, actually. Very well scripted performances here. Game 1, they open up in Arizona. It's Steve Arlen, the only pitcher on Florida who can pitch on 3 days of rest, against Chuck Dobson, the number 4 starter, making his debut because the Arizona series have been very short thus far. They were 5-0 coming into this series. And they get an Ed Herman home run. He's had a great year. A couple more runs. It's 6-2. And Arizona holds on to home field and are 6-0 at this point, winning game 1. Game number 2 in Arizona, though. It is the Marlins on the road. And Cinderella's struck midnight, finally. Florida, they had one big inning in the 4th. 2-run homer by Manny Mota, RBI double by Jose Pagan. Those 3 runs were all they would need. Ed Acosta went 7. Tom Bergmeyer, Jose Pena close it out. A 3-2 road win, Arizona's first loss of the year, and then it gives Florida home field. So what does Arizona do? Do they start a new winning streak, perhaps? Well, in Game 3, they do get a win. It's another close game. Juan Pizarro for Arizona and Wade Blasingame, a couple lefties. It seems these teams do well against lefties. It's a high-scoring game. 2-run homer by Chico Simone here. 3-run homer by Ed Herman. Told you to having a big year there. A 2-run double makes it close. Then Arizona adds 2 more. Florida gets 2 more. It's a 7-6 game. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And he strikes out Hal McRae. Ken Tatum, the recent California Angel closer, acquired in the offseason. And that's a big move there, getting the 7-6 road win and making the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-1. And regardless of how this season plays out, folks, they'll always have 7-1, right? I don't know where this team can go. Again, it's just set up that they have a cupcake schedule. So you play cupcakes. And then after that, once the postseason and the playoffs start, it gets a lot tougher. But right now, it is Game 4 in Florida. Marlins are 4-7 to start the year. They certainly want to win here. And in game 4, the starting pitchers, Jim Willoughby for the Diamondbacks. Steve Arlen comes back on 3 days rest for the Marlins. And let's get started. Steve Braun, 32, fouls to the catcher. Chris Arnold, 36 is a K. Jim Lytle, 2-7 is a K. Bottom of the 1, Vic Davalillo, 67, lines the second. Ellie Rodriguez, 2-6, pops the third. Manny Mota grounds the third. Top of 2, easy. Ed Herman, 36 is a K. George Thomas, 2-3, grounds the third. Dalton Jones is hit by the pitch on 1-2. With 2 outs, it's Brock Davis who pops to second base. We'll start showing cards once we get some production in this game, some offense going. Willie Montanez, 2-8, grounds a second. Hal McRae, 46. Triple 1-6 off the Willoughby card is a base hit. Now, you saw the Willoughby card earlier. Very strange. Starter 8 dominates lefties, though. So, Florida is one of the few teams who could throw 7, 8 right-handers in the lineup if they wanted to. The only lefties they have in the lineup are Vic Davalillo and Willie Montanez. Everybody else is right-handed. Should be advantage Florida. Here's Chico Simone, 47 there. As soon as I say that, I'll hit off the Willoughby card again. A base hit to right field. Hal McRae, a 12-runner will hold at second. 2 on for Jose Pagan. 36 guys at center, and with 2 outs, it's Cesar Gutierrez. 4-4 off Willoughby's card. It's an automatic homer if you have power. Gutierrez is not. It becomes an RBI single, and the Marlins have a 1-0 lead. Runners on the corners. 2 outs for Luis Melendez. 1-7. Let's take a look at a card, folks. Luis Melendez of the St. Louis Cardinals in 1973. Nice little outfielder, rangy, 267 hitter here. A 1-7 is homer 1-4 double. Rolls the 19. That's a double. Cesar Gutierrez, excellent base runner, a 15, trying to score from first on the double against the light alarm. He will run and score on a 7. That is a 2-out. 2-run double for Luis Melendez, and it is 3-0 Florida. Vic Davalillo, 38 is a strikeout. Top of the 3rd. Felipe Alou, 1-8. Let's take a look at Felipe Alou's card. Homer, 1-6 double. It is gone on the roll of 4. Felipe and his brothers are sprinkled on different teams. I was tempted to put them as teammates, but you got Matty Alou was on Pittsburgh last year. Now he's on Seattle. Jay Alou was on Oakland last year. Now he's on Milwaukee. Felipe Alou has been on Arizona the last few years. We got a 3-1 game. Paul Popovich, 68, 1-14 is a base hit. Here come the Diamondbacks trying to come back. They are a 7-1 baseball team, being tested early in this one. Stevie Ray Braun, 1-6 is a walk. And you've got 2 on, nobody out for Chris Arnold. 68 is another walk off Arlen. Losing control here in the 3rd. 3-1 lead will play back for Jim Lytle. 2-5 center B question mark for Popovich. He has to run if it's 14. It's 12, 13, 14. Melendez is a +1 arm, making it 15. And he will score on an 11. That's a sac fly. The other runners hold at first and second with 1 out in a 3-2 game. And here's Ed Herman. 48 off Arlen is a single to center. Braun. 14-15, he has to run. And he scores on 11. They've tied the game. Chris Arnold could go to 3rd. No, he's not quick enough. So Steve Arlen, kind of a rough inning, blows the lead. Got runners at first and second with 1 out, and it's George Thomas. 2-5 for George Thomas is a walk. It is loaded for Dalton Jones. 3-10 right B question mark, looking for another sac fly in this inning. This would be Chris Arnold. He is a 11, a 12, 13, but Mota is in right field with a +2 arm, making it 1-15. And he scores on a 5. Sac fly. Runners have run at will in this inning. You got first and second with 2 outs. And Brock Davis. 59, Sky's the center. Zona. 4-3 lead, 21 outs away from a 3rd consecutive series win and a stunning 8-1 record if they can pull this off today. Ellie Rodriguez, 35, center. Manny Mota, 56, short X. This is Popovich, a 3E30. That's a base hit. Willie Montanez, 310 right, and with 2 outs, it's Hal McRae for 12, pops the first. We'll go to the 4th. It's Felipe Alou, started the merry-go-round in the 3rd inning. 1-7, grounds the 3rd. Popovich, 43, bounces it to first. They have Willie Montanez, a 3-17 at first base. He makes the play. And Stevie Ray Braun, 43, first X. 3-17 again, but an error by Montanez. So, Braun reaches, C. Steeler, -1 on catcher, he'll hold. Chris Arnold, 2-7 a strikeout. Bottom of the 4th. It's Chico Simone, 36, grounds the 3rd. Jose Pagan, 54, pops the first. Cesar Gutierrez, 48, a base hit off the Willoughby card in that 1 column. Because he's right-handed here. Luis Melendez, 1-4 short. So the only damage they've done is rolling that 4 column against Willoughby with the right-handers. Meanwhile, the 2 lefties are 0-4 today. We go to the top of the 5th of a 4-3 game. Here is Jim Lytle, 64, pops the 3rd. Ed Herman, 34, grounds the 3rd. George Thomas, 2-9 is a K. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, but first, pause for a message from our sponsor.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the 5th, it's Vic Davalillo. 5-11 off Willoughby is a walk. He is an ace stealer, down a run. Herman has a plus, what arm does he have? 2. It's time for a stolen base. And he's in there on an 8. Davalillo steals second. Tying run at second for Ellie Rodriguez. 110 is a walk. Well, there wastes that stolen base. 2 on for Manny Mota. 53, right X. In the corner, Felipe Alou's a 3E4 in right field, but he misplays that. And you get the double ... off the 3 outfielder, which is a really tough break for Zona. And on the bad web gem, the 2-run double gives the Marlins a 5-4 lead. Runner at second, Willie Montanez, 4-11, right X, and not having a good day in right field. Another double ... Didn't really need that. The guy was on second base. Anyway, Felipe Alou's having trouble with the lights or something. And it's now 6-4. They found the weak spot. It's actually decent defense. Just having a tough break here. Hal McRae, 3-11. Sky's a left. Chico Simone, 5-10. Catcher's card. Herman is a 3E7 catcher. Pass ball. We have the runner going to 3rd with 2 outs, and it's Jose Pagan. 1-4. Let's take a look at Jose Pagan's card, a Pittsburgh Pirate player, 1970. You know, when you've seen this card looks similar to a 69 card, and you think, it's not much of a batting average. It really is. It's a 265 batting average. It's just that the Pirates had so many great hitters on their team that Pagan got lost in the shuffle. And certainly wasn't needed by the Pirates, so he was let go. But he is valued here for his versatility and power. And 1-4 is homer, 1-5 double, and he rolls the 1, a 2-run blast for Jose Pagan off of Willoughby. Here in the 5th inning, a rough start for Jim Willoughby, who's had a great year till now. 8-4. The right-handed dominant lineup has worked masterfully today for the Marlins. Cesar Gutierrez. 1-9 single, and if he bat around, we'll hook him. Here is Luis Melendez, 3-11, grounds to short. We might just hook him anyway, depending on how things go in the 6th inning with an 8-4 lead. Steve Arlen. The Marlins and the Arizona Diamondbacks both have 5-man rotations with only one guy who can pitch on 3 days rest, which means they have to be careful how they use their bullpen not to wear guys out. In the case of the Marlins, they've been using Casey Cox and Bergmeyer a lot, so they'd like to get 6 or 7 out of Arlen. Arizona, on the other hand, has had long starts, and they need to get some work to their bullpen. So that's why we might see Willoughby leave after 5. Unless he has a chance to come back and get a win in this thing. Here's Dalton Jones. 2-4 grounds the second. Brock Davis. 67 is a walk for the Sea Stealer. -1 arm will hold. Alou really having an interesting day. A homer and 2 misplayed balls in the outfield. 1-6 is a 6-4-3 double play. Oh boy. Normally when you hit a home run in your first at bat, you think it's a game you're never going to forget. Well, he might want to forget this one at this point, as his team is down 4. Willoughby will give you 6. If he struggles here, we'll consider him broken. Vic Davalillo, 6'10", bouncer to third. Braun's a 3-23 at third base. Makes the play. Elliot Rodriguez, 65, center. Mota, 44. If he has power, it's gone. He doesn't. It's a single. That's 2 of them now. And Willie Montanez, the final batter, 1-7, triple, 1-2, single dot. It's a single dot, and I've seen enough because they got nothing but right-handed batters coming up. They got runners in the corner with 2 outs, and it's still a winnable game, down 4. Tough start for Jim Willoughby. 5 2/3. Needs some help here in the 6th inning. We could use Jerry Bell. Jerry Bell, a long man, was actually a closer last year, even though he was the long man, but the long man just turned out to be the best pitcher, and so he closed games out. Now he's back in long man role because they added Darryl Knowles and Ken Tatum in the back end of the bullpen. That's why Arizona is a pretty good bet to win this division. So Jerry Bell against Hal McRae. Runners on the corners, 2 outs in the 6th inning. The pitch to Hal McRae. 45, skies to right field. 8-4 in the 7th. They'd love Arlen to get through this. They do have some defense they could bring in. And they'll move Salmon to first. They will actually add some of these guys. Gerardo to second. Repose in corner outfield for McRae. We'll play right. Mota goes DH. And that's about the best defense you're going to get for the Marlins. We go to the 7th. It'll be Popovich leading it off. 1-8, skies are right. Stevie Ray Braun. 1-6 is a walk. Chris Arnold. 2-6, single dot. Runners on the corners. Jim Lytle. Arlen really needs to get this guy. Couple of lefties, but my goodness, they've really... Let's take a quick peek at the bullpen and see if I can bring the long Ken Reynolds in. They're asking for trouble here, but they're going to do it. They're going to pull Arlen after 6 1/3, about to break anyway. He's not good against lefties, and my goodness, the Arizona's got 2 quality ones, Jim Lytle and Ed Herman, and one of them will have to leave. So Ken Reynolds, let's take a look at Ken, will come on in the 7th. Runners on the corners, 1-run lead, he'll play it back. Lytle will come out of the game. Can't hit lefties very well at all. And they'll go to Don Hahn, who can play center field with power. Take a look at Don Hahn here. Playing back, runners on the corners, 1 out. The pitch to Don Hahn. 57 off Ken Reynolds is a K. And with 2 outs, you've got Ed Herman. Let's take a look at Ed Herman's card. He's had a wonderful year. Look at that power against righties. He was a Chicago White Sox in 1970. I don't know happened with the White Sox catchers, but they had this guy, they had Dwayne Josephson, they had Gale Hopkins. They all hit like 300. I don't know where they got all these catchers from. But anyway, Herman was available, and Arizona pounced on him. He doesn't do much after this until like 77. Normally, he's going to bat here because you don't want him to come out of the lineup, and he's got a 210 homer 1-16. So he'll stick around with runners in the corners and 2 outs. And here is the pitch to Ed Herman. 58 is a single to right field. He will get an RBI. Arnold does not have to go run coast to coast. He can stay at second. First and second with 2 outs in an 8-5 game, making George Thomas your tie run. Let's take a look at George Thomas' card. Oh my goodness, this is how Arizona is built. They're built around guys with high batting average that they can find as extra players. And by definition, that's George Thomas. 99 at-bats, a 343 batting average. And he was a Boston Red Sox Boston Red Sox infielder, but they had some guys named Rico Petrocelli and Carl Yastrzemski, and therefore didn't need George Thomas. So, with runners at first and second and 2 outs, he does well against lefties and righties. I think Reynolds is going to have to pitch to him with the lefty Dalton Jones on deck. The pitch to George Thomas. 111 is a ground to third base, and Reynolds gets out of the jam. 8-5, bottom of 7. Chico Simone, 46, center. Jose Pagan, 5'10", catcher's card. He's a 2'3'7" at catcher, makes the play. And Cesar Gutierrez, 56, bouncers the second. This is Arnold, not very good. A 40-37 at second base is a base hit. Luis Melendez, saw his card earlier. 68 is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Jerry Bell's not in danger of breaking, and he's very good against the lefties. And it'll be Vic Davalillo. Let's take a look at Vic Davalillo's card. Magnificent 1972. He hit 318 with this card. Interesting, though, against lefties, he bulks up and has power and crushes homers and doubles. Against righties, he's more of a singles hitter. First and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Vic Davalillo. 2-9 is a pop to first. So, still a ball game. Very competitive series every game. 8-5. In the 8th inning, Marlins have their defense in there already. Dalton Jones will be lifted, and the batter will be Roger Freed. And that'll do it for Ken Reynolds. He will leave after 2/3 of an inning. And I think they're going to go Jose Pena in the 8th for a 2-inning save with a 3-run lead. Jose Pena comes on in the 8th for the Marlins, and Roger Freed will bat for the Diamondbacks. 1-9, grounds are short. Brock Davis. 3 6s, single 1-10, and he rolls an 11 and lines out. And with 2 outs, it's Felipe Alou. 48 is a walk. Paul Popovich, 53, rolls to first base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We'll take out Mr. Bell and go to Chris Short in the 8th inning. In an 8-5 game, trying to keep it close. Ellie Rodriguez, 38, grounds to short. Manny Mota, 38, grounds too short. And with 2 outs, it is Gil Gerardo, now playing second base. 1-7, let's take a look at Gil's card. Nice little middle infielder. 1-7, I mean, he really hits lefties really well, doesn't he? He's a 264 hitter in 367 plate appearances for the Atlanta Braves. Interestingly, he would have been a nice shortstop for those Atlanta Braves. They opted to acquire Maury Wills in the offseason, which is also a fine move. Gerardo would be better than Marty Perez for Atlanta. I don't know, I guess after 70, he kind of turns into a pumpkin. Anyway, after all of that, 1-7 is homer, 1-7, fly ball the rest, and Gil cannot quite get it out of Marlins Stadium. And that would have been his 1 homer and 367 at-bats. He didn't get it. Tough break there for Gil. So we'll go to the 9th. And Jose Pena has a 3-run lead. We have the top of the lineup. Let's take a look at some more Marlins. Let's look at Stevie Ray Braun, the leadoff guy. Versatile, infield, outfield, lefty who could hit lefties, a pinch hitter, could be DH. Played for the Twins, eventually gets to the Cardinals in the National League. Gets there a certain point. Fine little player here. Steve Braun, the pitch. 57's a K. Chris Arnold, 58 is a K, and with 2 outs, we got Don Hahn again. He came in the 7th against a lefty. He's not so much against a righty. The pitch to Don. 210, flies to left field, and the Marlins split 2 with the Diamondbacks. Nice little series we got here. You could say the Marlins need it more. But you can also say, I don't know what they're thinking if they think they're going to make the playoffs in a division that has the Braves, Phillies, and the New York Mets. But whatever. You know, you're playing to win. You play to win the game, as Herman Edwards once said. Jose Pena, a 2-inning save, a walk, and 2 Ks. Nice work. Ken Reynolds actually did a nice job getting a hold here in the 7th. He gave up, let's see. He struck out Don Hahn, gave up a single, a hit and a K. Steve Arlen did get a win. 4 hits and 5 runs. Lost control in the 3rd inning. All 5 were earned. Did walk 6. Struck out 5. Chris Short in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down. Inning and a 3rd for Jerry Bell. A hit and a walk. But really, it was Jim Willoughby who struggled mightily today. Giving up 12 hits and 8 runs. That'll really hurt the old ERA. Yeah, they were all earned. 2 walks and a strikeout. Tough start there for Willoughby and the Diamondbacks. 1019, 0108, 813, 55, 7831, 3178. Take a look at the stats for the 2 squads. It's very early for these teams. The schedule maker gave the 3rd place teams' squads a pretty soft schedule to start out. Best of 5, a best of 3, and a best of 5. And now they have to finish up the first half before the All-Star break, playing 3 consecutive best of 7s. So, daunting tasks for these squads from here on out. Which is why it was so important for Arizona to get off to a hot start. The Marlins improved to 5-7 and should be commended for that. They're hitting just .231 with a .433 ERA. So they should be pretty happy they're 5-7. They have a good offense and not much pitching there. Nothing to really report. Hal McRae's got 3 homers. Yeah, not much going on with this team. Let's take a look at Arizona, though, because we know they are 7-2 with that loss. They're hitting .269 with a .326 ERA. Interestingly, no pitcher has 3 wins yet, even though they have 7 wins. Ken Tatum, though, when asked to come in and close out these wins, has 5 saves of the 7 wins. That's would get you into an all-star game. For most teams, unless Arizona clogs up the all-star ballot box since they're in first place. The only big dude hitting is Mr. Ed Herman. My goodness, folks, he's 13 for 24. That's a .542 average with 5 homer and 11 RBI in 9 games. They are riding Ed Herman early here, plus a couple walks. George Thomas, Stevie Ray Braun is doing a great job in the leadoff spot, hitting over 300 with 8 walks in 9 games. He's doing well. And the year-to-date numbers for our league, 217 games in now, about a little more than maybe barely a third of the way into the season. We're at .261 with a .388 ERA. We will post the results of what should be a pretty interesting Game 5 from Arizona at the end of this video. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, this was a thrilling series. And Game 5 did not disappoint back in Arizona. The Marlins number 4 starter, Sandy Vance versus Chuck Dobson on 4 days rest. This was a back and forth seesaw affair. It started out like we had an MVP and Roger Repos. A 2-run homer in the second. Then it's 2-1. Then another 2-run homer by Roger Repos in the fourth, and we're about to print MVP award for the series for him. It's 4-1. Arizona comes back, makes it 4-3, and then teams continue to get individual runs and strand base runners until it gets to 6-5 in the ninth. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Jose Pena does close it out for the visiting Marlins. A key victory here is a setback for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who finally lose a series. And now it doesn't look like it's going to be so easy for them to win this division. They're 7-3 year to date, still fantastic. And the Marlins are more than respectable, 6-7 in the National League East. Thanks for checking out the video. Congratulations for the Marlins winning their first series of the year over the Diamondbacks, 3-2. We'll see you next time.